In the intricate tapestry of life, where the human body is a marvelously tuned engine of immense power, it thrives on a fundamental element: food. This fuel bestowed by the Creator ignites the spark of energy that powers our daily endeavors and maintains the equilibrium of nature. Yet, despite this essential need, there are moments when individuals choose to deliberately refrain from eating. Why, in an age where a nourishing meal is but a kitchen away, would anyone choose to experience hunger? This question finds its answer not in the realm of physical necessity, but in the spiritual depths of religious practice. Fasting, a discipline revered across many faiths, serves a higher purpose than mere abstinence from dietary intake. It is an act of spiritual dedication and introspection, a physical testimony to a metaphysical belief. The Bible, among other scriptures, champions this practice extensively, providing not just recommendations, but a divine endorsement of its power and purpose. Consider the ancient practice among the Jewish faithful, who observe a poignant fast during Yom Kippur, the Day of Atonement. As decreed in Leviticus 16:29, this solemn fast is not merely a tradition, but a divine statute, an embodiment of spiritual affliction and humility before God. On this day, marked by sacred reflection and communal repentance, even the high priest performs rites of atonement not just for himself, but for the entirety of the community, symbolically cleansing the collective sin through the sacrifice of a lamb. This act of fasting is mirrored in the teachings of Jesus, who instructed his disciples with clear guidelines on fasting. "When you fast," he said, as recorded in Matthew 6:16-18, "do not look somber as the hypocrites do." His words underscore the essence of fasting. Its purpose is not to display one's piety, but to cultivate a deeper connection with the divine, visible only to the Father who sees in secret and rewards openly. The concerns surrounding fasting are many, particularly for those unfamiliar with its practice. The fear of hunger pangs, the perceived inability to endure without food, and the apprehension about others' perceptions might deter many. Yet fasting isn't a public spectacle, but a private communion with God. Whether one fasts alone or participates in communal observances like those led by Ezra or Esther, the act remains a personal journey towards spiritual enlightenment. Fasting transcends the simplistic notion of dieting or health-driven food abstinence. It is a spiritual exercise, a deliberate pause in regular eating habits to prioritize spiritual nourishment over physical sustenance. For those embarking on this journey for the first time, the advice is simple. Start small. Focus on the sincerity of your intent rather than the duration of the fast. And remember that in the eyes of God, the humility and earnestness of your prayer weigh more than the length of your fast. In the Christian context, fasting is not merely a ritual, but a disciplined effort to enhance spiritual resilience, akin to the training of a soldier in the army of Christ. As Jesus himself faced opposition, so too might Christians who engage deeply in spiritual warfare through prayer and fasting. The journey is demanding but profoundly rewarding, offering not just spiritual insights but also a closer relationship with God. Thus, as we navigate the challenges and disciplines of faith, let us remember that fasting, like any profound commitment, is about the heart behind the action. It is not the outward show that matters, but the inward journey and the personal relationship with the divine that it fosters. In this sacred act, we find not just spiritual sustenance, but a deeper, more enduring strength that nourishes far beyond the physical. If you're venturing into fasting for the first time, consider starting modestly, perhaps by skipping just one meal. Historically, in the Old Testament, Jews observed a strict fast once a year on Yom Kippur, marking the day from sunset to sunset. This timekeeping tradition, where days commence in the evening, is highlighted in Genesis 1:5, underscoring that the evening and the morning were the first day. For your initial fast, You might plan to begin at sunset, foregoing the usual dinner, then continuing to abstain from food through breakfast and lunch, finally breaking your fast after the sunset of the following day. Typically, a normal meal would mark the end of the fast. Fasting, especially when embarked upon for the first time, can be a deeply personal journey. Yet undertaking it with a companion can enrich the experience. This joint endeavor is not only about collective spiritual discipline, but also about sharing the spiritual and emotional support that such an endeavor requires. In Matthew 18:18-19, Jesus speaks to the power of agreement, emphasizing that prayers made in unity are particularly potent. Just as shared vacations are often more memorable and enjoyable, fasting with a partner can enhance focus and provide mutual encouragement. When fasting with another, the companionship offers practical benefits, such as having someone to discuss any doubts, fears, or questions that might arise. If you find fasting daunting, the encouragement from a fasting partner can be invaluable, and regular check-ins can provide the motivation needed to persevere. Furthermore, completing a fast together allows for shared celebration of the achievement. A communal victory often feels more rewarding than a solitary one. Additionally, fasting with a friend introduces a layer of accountability. You're less likely to stray from your fast when you know someone else is aware of and participating in the same commitment. This mutual awareness can significantly bolster adherence. Much like having a workout partner increases your likelihood of sticking to an exercise regimen. As you prepare to fast, it's important to reflect on the purpose of your fast. The reasons for fasting are as varied as the individuals who undertake them. Consider the biblical story of young David and Goliath. Unlike the fearful Israeli soldiers, David had a clear, compelling personal reason to face the giant. Similarly, identify and write down your own reasons for fasting. Having a tangible list can clarify your intentions and strengthen your resolve. There are different types of fasts to consider, each with its own guidelines and intended spiritual outcomes. The absolute fast involves abstaining from all food and water. This extreme form of fasting, exemplified by Paul's experience recounted in Acts 9:9, is generally reserved for those confronting severe crises. The normal fast typically includes abstention from solid food, with liquids permitted. This is the most common biblical model of fasting. The partial fast restricts particular foods or drinks, but not all consumption. The Daniel fast is a notable example, emphasizing vegetables and water while avoiding delicacies, meat, and wine. John Wesley's fast involves eating only whole grain bread and drinking water for extended periods, particularly before important meetings or spiritual endeavors. The rotation fast, though rare in religious contexts, is used medically to identify allergies or sensitivities by systematically excluding and reintroducing food groups. Choosing the right fast involves considering several factors: your fasting experience, the intensity of your spiritual or physical needs, your comfort with the fast's demands, and practical considerations like timing and social obligations. Remember, fasting is not just an act of abstention, but a commitment to seeking deeper spiritual engagement and reliance on divine strength. Let this be a time when you not only deny yourself food, but also seek to connect more profoundly with your faith. As you step into this journey, may your heart be guided by sincerity and your efforts blessed with clarity and purpose. Join us in this exploration of fasting, and may we all grow closer to the essence of our beliefs through these acts of devotion. Thank you for your support, and may you find both strength and peace on this path.